So it's going to be a lengthy it's going to be a lengthy recording as usual, and there will be some dead air in there while we're working, but I am not going to pause it. I'm just going to let it play so you can fast forward when you watch the video. So we've covered with Nita Engle part 1 and part 2, we've covered bullseye. We've covered that water, what they called water resist, and Steve was right. I don't know why they call it water resist, except they couldn't think of anything better, and it is in a way. We've covered the syringe bottles for the trees, mountains, ocean. We've covered the water. Excuse me.
Bless you.
I knew I was going to sneeze.
I'm not here.
Thank you. And most of the technique, or one of the techniques that most people liked and used, and I'll go over that under the camera in a few minutes, was the bullseye effect, because it's the easiest. We are going to cover water masking, and that's what this is. And that's pretty true to what it says. We are going to do masking fluid, and that applies to the trees, and that applies to the rocks. And then we are going to do some different kind of monoprint stamping, but we are not going, we are, in one case here, we are going to use the mat board stamp. So you'll, if you miss parts 1 and 2, at least you'll get that too. And this was a plastic wrap monoprint plus stamping. And we'll get into all that later. Suggested list, blah, blah, blah. This is from her book. This is what we're going to do. We're going to try to do these in order because we're not painting one painting at a time. So have at least 3 sheets prepped and available. And for here, we're going to take them outside and let them dry in the sun. Perfect day for that. Anyway, this is the reference for the water masking. And how do I replicate that? How do I even paint that? How do I get all those blotches and all that cool texture happening on those leaves? Do I mask it? No, you can water mask it. I don't have to use masking fluid. This is part of a rock thing that's really an embellished rock with some flowers and whatnot. And I have reference on that. And that all this little texture in here, all this texture came from the masking fluid. And this is what it looks like. And this is how I got the texture. And this is good for sea foam, where you want those bubbly things happening. And it's a rub off, a masking rub off. This is another rock that I painted. I made it and put it in the cluster folder. So back to design. So this is a cruciform or L-shaped design. I've got my horizontals, I've got my verticals. I've got this beautiful sweep of this rock coming in, and this is what this looks like if I just put my design lines on there, my design shapes. And I like that. It's balanced. This is something that she uses that we can use, and it's back to the bullseye, but it's not. It's putting a bunch of, it's masking first, and then putting a bunch of paint on, wet and wet, spraying it, letting it run together, etc. So normally you would not attempt to paint this. I can't paint that. That's too many moving parts, but it's not. It's this shape. It's this shape. It's these tree lines. It's these 2 shapes, and here makes an L on the bottom. So this is basically how I drew it, and that's how I masked it. And don't be afraid to over mask, because you can always just rub it off. And once the mask comes on, if it's too much, this was too much, just put color on top. So that's pretty much that one. This one's very interesting. It's back to painting atmosphere and letting the wet and wet run together. That involves some blotting. That involves the plastic monoprint, if you will. And that also involves a stamp. And here it is before. That's my raw image, my first pass at this. And here's my stamp. And here that made all these beautiful rocks without me doing anything. Here's the stamp that I made to put in some variation, some weeds. And that's it. So that's the handout that I gave you guys. And this is the cluster folder that I just invited you to, where you can post artwork. You can post your paintings and say, am I done yet? More red, whatever. And here's how you post. Once you're in cluster, you just click this upper right-hand corner. That's the post. Add photos. So I have photos from my camera roller on my desktop. Usually I'll drag a photo here, upload, and it will magically appear in the gallery. You have two ways to do this. This is the feed. You have to scroll through everything. This is the gallery where I can just go click on something and it'll bring it up. By the way, this is a painting that I did a while ago, and this used that rub off technique. And you can see it in the rocks here, because I can't, I don't want to paint that. I don't want me to paint that because it's going to look like I painted it. It's going to look like a human did it. I want the randomness to happen. And so this, all of this, most of this stuff is in cluster. Here's what the masking fluid looked like when I first put it on. And so there's nothing there. And you can put it on that loosely. And here's what it looks like after the after I rubbed some of it off. Then I put paint on that, let that dry, rub some more holes in it, put more paint on it. So that way I get layers of paint. And the last thing we're going to do, and I'm sure you all have these at home you can play with. I did a painting on location that I wasn't happy with because I lost, it wasn't the design, I lost my light. I lost my way. Because it was early morning and this ranch house was dappled with sunlight, and I did not capture that. So here's what I did. Here's the painting on the left. And yeah, you can see it, whatever. But I much prefer this one on the right. And I have to figure out a way to do that. Probably Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to get rid of that area. To lighten this area back up again, I'm going to use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. I will put in the cluster folder the result of this. Anyway, this is has much more drama to it. And I did this using a flashlight, so I could actually see that painting. And Nita Engle, when I was in her studio, she was searching for something, and she had about 89, 90, I'll call it, unfinished paintings in this big room. She had her studio and bedroom and kitchen, and the living room was her gallery. But they were all just leaning up against the wall. It wasn't a true gallery. And she was looking for something, and with a flashlight, it was at night, and she just happened to look at a painting while she was doing it. And then the painting came to life. It was a lighthouse painting, and she couldn't figure it out. I mean, these paintings were not done. They were all half done. She couldn't figure out what to do next, or she just stopped, and that saved her. And so I noticed this actually when I was here. I took a photo. My easel was set up here. I took a photo of the finished painting and the house. And by that time, the sun had come up, and it was over to the right, and it was all this dappled light on my painting. And I said, that's it. That's what I missed. So So I remembered her flashlight technique. So anyway, so that's something I'll show you, but you can all do on your own. So does that make sense to
Mhm.
everybody?
Right.
Yes? Okay. So the first thing we're going to start off doing is we're going to start off with the water masking. Is everybody, let me see if I've got more. Where'd Steve go? Steve, oh, there he is. Hey, how's Seattle? It's hot? Yeah, hot. Everybody's hot. I don't care where you are. Anyway, we're going to start off, and I want to share it again. We're going to start off with this, and I'm going to leave this up in the corner, and you will have plenty of time to watch me paint, unless you're stuck later. So pay attention to you painting. You'll have the recording, so then you can go back and check it. This I wouldn't just go over. This is the review of what Nita 1 and Nita 2 was all about. I think you guys can see that pretty well. This was the bullseye technique, and it's basically wetting the paper first and then applying circles, yellows, oranges, reds, pinks, blues, in a and then making that sure that's still wet. It's soppy wet. Making sure that's still wet, and then start running the colors through each other. If you have to use your spray bottle, it's all run through each other. So they all mix and mingle. That's not going to turn green because it's got this buffer of red between that and the blue. This is another way you can use this. You don't have to do circles. You can do shapes. This is another one. This was my bullseye up here. This was another bullseye, except I put the bullseye up here, and I don't have to use red, yellow, and blue. I use different warm blues, phthalos, teal, and then I got it down into cobalts, ultramarines down here. So that again is a bullseye effect. And you can have these sheets ready to go. As I said before, you can have them ready to go, especially on location. I wish I would have had one on location. Here's another bullseye. There it is, pretty simple. This was multiple bullseyes. I wanted to see if it would work. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. So there were 4 bullseyes in this one. And I did mask the street lights. That's the only part I masked. Last example, bullseye. So there we go. That was the bullseye part. This is the water resist. And this is where we spattered paint. And then we took our spray bottle and started spraying around this cluster. We made clusters. Here's another example of it. We made probably a better example for clusters. There's a cluster, 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 instead of individual flowers. It makes it much more appealing. Here's how the example was used. A couple of examples that we painted from a photo reference using that same technique. So you can do a bunch, you can do a little, you can do whatever. And this was back to the syringe bottles where I think I put them away. Oh, just for those of you who are not familiar with it, here is a syringe bottle. You can get them on Amazon. They're called Euler boilers. Here's what they look like. They have a needle, and this is full of water, but I don't care. They're I'm painting with I have paint in here to just clear water, and I'm making I'm drawing lines. Anyway, you can see the lines. Anyway, so that was the syringe bottle technique, and you can also I did oceans, I did mountains. I drew those mountains using blue ink in that syringe bottle. And I also had a brown one, a raw sienna, and then I sprayed it. And how you get this, how you get all this wave action is you turn it sideways and you spray. And make sure you leave enough white paper. Very easy to overdo this. Add some salt and look at all that beautiful texture. I could not paint that. I mean, I could, if I had this for reference, I still couldn't paint it. This is a waterfall, and these are that edge spatter, and see all that bubbly water right there. I painted just shapes, just that dark shape, dark shape, dark shape. That was actually a shape. And then I went back with the spray bottle again. Only this time I just carefully tickled the edges, just little sprinkles of water. And then as the water really works, as it went down, I could spray it because that's how this is aerated. That's aerated water. This is the bubbly water before it starts falling. So that's what you end up with. And the other example, the last example is this, again, that syringe bottle. I just drew some lines and then I sprinkled water on it and sprayed in a few places. And that will give me an instant tree. There's a couple of trees in different colors. That will give me an instant tree. And this is the stamping that I told you about. And this is actually the if you stamp on dry paper, you'll get this effect. You can stamp on damp paper, and it will turn almost negative effect because the lines will spread, and now you'll have little white spaces, so it looks like a negative painting. Anyway, that's kind of here's more. Here's the plastic wrap stamp. So we did cover some of that before. And here's an example using multiple techniques that she used. She did not use this one. I can't remember.
Did you use gouache for that?
For this? For these flowers?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I just spattered gouache and made a couple of them into flowers. I spattered gouache and one hit there and one hit there, so I just made them into flowers. So anyway, that's that. What we'll be covering today is, this is a pretty good example of the monoprint, the plastic monoprint. I can't paint that. I can't get that texture any other way. If you paint landscapes or old engines where the paint's peeling off, or wharf, or anything that you need that texture for, this is fabulous. Anyway, this is the first time I painted this one. This is some of that rub off. This is the plastic wrap stamp. This is the mat board carved out stamp. This was the reference. This was the reference for this one. I embellished on this. So this is the rub off. You can see the rub off in here. These are the stamps. And so that's a really excellent way to learn how to paint that texture without having to without having to make it contrived. This is an example of how the hell did you get all that texture and splotch and stuff. You must have masked it. You had to. Well, it was a water mask. Here's even a cleaner one, and I used alizarin, which is a very staining color. Anyway, it works. And this is the reference for this guy. I thought this ended up being beautiful down here in that fishing hole, those reeds, the whatever that is. Design wise, I eliminated this. I didn't need it. I just used that one and lowered it a little bit. Anyway, in orange and blue, how can you go wrong? Here's the other rock that we did. You can notice all this texture that's happening, and that's with the rub off mask. And then this is the tree with the light coming through, and that was masked in this, and a little bit down here, and wherever, so on and so forth. So it was a big pool of yellow, green. I don't think anything was there. I think that was masked. Green, different greens, cool greens, warm greens, yellow greens, red greens, purple greens, whatever. This is some salt down in the corner, which I wish more of it would have happened here. Anyway, this stamp with this plastic is, I like things that are not reliable. I want to be surprised. If I used a sponge for this stuff, I'd know it was a sponge, and so would everyone else. So all this white left is paper. I did put some highlights here with gouache. Anyway, so that's that. So we have a lot to do, and I want to emphasize that I do not want you to finish a painting. I want you to get all these started because we only have a few hours to do this. So I don't want you to finish it. I want you to learn the process. That's what I want you to do, is understand the process. And please, 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 fail. Failure is your friend. I mean, you got to push it before you got to go over the edge before you know that you have failed, but you know where the edge is now. So I'm going to start with this one. And so all this requires drying time. Fortunately, unfortunately, it's hot out, so maybe we'll catch a break. So I've got your reference up. You don't have to do all these leaves. I painted these leaves later. You can just do 3 leaves. You don't have to do any leaves. You can just do a shape. You can just do a square, and you can see how this works. So, and you don't need to really do anything other than that. So here's my big leaf. And I don't have to follow this exactly. Here's another leaf over here. And here's another leaf down here. There, that's good enough. And now I just want you to paint those various shades of green. That's kind of what your reference is telling you to do. So I'm going to take my contaminated paint. I'm not doing any color today. Forget about the color. That's all a value anyway. All I want to do is paint a shape. There's one shape, and I'm going to drop some other color in here. It doesn't have to be exact, as I said. This doesn't have to be a leaf. Could be anything. I'm just painting this with a green, pretty standard green, and then I'm going to drop some color into it just for fun. I'm going to use Mr. Gravity to do that. So I'll put some, let's see, I'll put some blue in one. And I'll put some alizarin. I'll put some purple. Yeah, why not put purple? Just something to make it a little more exciting than. Green. So there you go. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. And then I'm gonna go set it in the sun.
Oh,
No hair
I gotta-
dryer, Joe?
I have to let this dry completely. What's that?
No hair dryer?
Oh, you can use hair dryer if you want,
Okay.
but we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be starting other things. So that's one sheet of paper. So there we go. And now I'm going to, in a few minutes, I'm gonna start the rock. Yeah, I go back. I think I'm still going to have computer classes. But that's fine with me. I mean, I'm so used to that.
Yeah. Close up.
Yeah, I mean, I was wearing them. I'm wearing them for this.
Yeah.
I'm just used to it. So. So how we doing?
Okay.
Good. So when you get done with your leaves and they're drying, then get out another sheet of paper.
Can't help it.
And I'll put this next guy up. Oops. I'll keep this guy.
That looks good.
Huh?
That looks good.
All right.
good for a mistake.
I'm gonna put this guy up just for reference. We'll hide this one for now. So this is actually a good way to figure out your your plan when you start painting. Do I what's my order of what's my order of process? So I'm going to use that one. I know I have two rocks in there. You can pick either one. It doesn't really make any difference. I'm going to use this rock, and this is the design I'm going to use, if you will. So I see I have, there's my horizon line is really down here. That's a low horizon line. So I've got this rock, and there's my rock. I'm going to try to simplify this rock a little bit, just for painting purposes. There's a rock in the front. Really doesn't make a lot of difference. And I have another couple of rocks up here. So there's my fabulous drawing. How about that? There's my horizon line. Don't worry about trees. Don't worry about anything else. I just want a big rock-like shape in there. That's plenty. I don't have to draw anything else. And everybody get masking fluid. Yes,
No, I don't have
you did not?
it. No.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. This is PBO masking fluid. This is what she used. And it's drawing gum.
I forgot to bring us something to fire.
You don't have to shake this, but you can squish it around. Yeah, otherwise it's gonna have a bunch of bubbles in it, which isn't gonna make a lot of difference. So I'm going to first of all, I am going to get a cup. Yes. I'm going to get a cup of water. I'm going to go to the bathroom and I'm going to put a tad of soap in it and fill it full of water. Because I'm going to use my best brushes. Don't use crappy brushes when you're painting masks. Because what are you painting? What are you painting when you're painting masks? You're painting light. So you want to be right on with that. So just keep dumping your brush in the corner.
Da Vinci. No wonder it feels so good. Dang. This bottom. Oh my God.
You putting his masking fluid in that?
We're getting soapy water. Are we gonna
I
use
think
his soapy
so.
water?
I don't
I'm
know.
going to
because-
wait until he
Because
shows
my
that.
masking fluid is in here. So it needs to be poured out into something.
I'm gonna wait. It doesn't have little cups,
Right.
little cups.
Okay.
Oh, little cups.
Oh, does he have little cups?
He has little cups. I don't know if he wants us to use them, but you can give it back to him if it's only soapy water.
Right.
So. I always use my crappy brushes.
Well, I like what he said, because if we're taking it off, yeah, it should it's gonna
As
be
long
like
as-
the highlights on the paper. I think I only have like 2 good brushes. 2 okay brushes. Should we get our own water, Joe?
No, I'm gonna have you come up here and do this because, yeah, if you don't have masking fluid, you can come up here. If you do, then just get some soapy water.
Okay,
Alright.
so I need to get some soapy water. I
Yeah.
have masking fluid.
Yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. I usually just dump this, in, I would usually put my brush into this, but for now, I'm just going to
Oh, you put it in there first.
pour a little out.
Is that what you're saying?
What are you doing? You're putting the mask in there.
If I had, I was doing this and I had a mask. So you people don't have masks, so that's the reason I poured that out. I just dunk it in the thing.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay. We have.
But you
both.
dunk your brush in there
Yes, I
first.
put my brush,
That's,
I put my brush in
it.
here and I fill that full of the
got
soapy
it.
water and then I blot it off.
Okay,
I get rid of some of that, but it's got soap in there now, right?
okay, so that protects your brush.
That protects my brush.
Got it.
This is my $100 brush. Ha ha. Anyway, so now I can put this in the mask. Do not go up to the metal furl. Do not go up to the metal furl. Just keep it on the edge. And I'm just going to put in big strokes. I don't care if I grip. I don't care about any of that because I can just rub it off. In fact, I'm going to even spatter a little bit. So I just want to make, see, don't worry about that. Maybe a little bit over here. So there's my beautiful, I'm gonna keep dipping my brush as I paint in that water. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're letting that
so
dry.
this, so we're letting this dry. Now
Got
I'm
it.
gonna
Okay.
go out there and let this dry.
We're gonna dip our brushes in the soapy water first. Got it. All right. Hey, Joe? Joe?
He walked out to put his
Oh,
painting in.
good.
You get to see my masterpiece.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't rub it on. I don't know if you just does that with the soap.
anything.
If he's
like
just
on
doing that
this.
with the soapy water. Let's see if he's rubbing it off. Kinda like.
Joe, are you back?
He's
Yes, I'm
back.
back. Any questions?
Yeah. Joe, I had to leave the room and open up my bottle because I needed a wrench to open it. So I missed something. How much do you dilute? Were you diluting it, did you say?
Say again?
Okay, how much did you dilute the masking?
How much did we what?
You thought you diluted it.
Oh,
Dilute.
I did not dilute the masking fluid at all.
Oh.
No,
Um,
I just used the water with soapy water to keep the brush from becoming a throwaway.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm using the masking fluid right out of the bottle.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep. And don't worry about the masking fluid. I don't know where I'm going to rub off yet, so.
Okay. Go clean my brush.
Yeah, keep dipping your brush in the soapy water and then blotting it off.
Oh, okay.
And blot it off.
Yeah, blot it off.
I can't
Yeah,
find
that one I didn't blot off, so.
And this will be a little bit different for everybody because it's a lot of people are doing this for the first time, so.
I think my masking fluid is bad because it really gummed up my other brush. Okay. Better than doing everything.
Sure.
It's yours.
There you go.
Does it go bad over time?
Yes,
Yes.
it doesn't last
It's a shelf
long.
life
This
of a year or
icky.
something. So
Okay.
do not get the big bottle. See,
What
I
they
have
called?
got a big bottle.
Pepeo?
Yeah, I have a half
Pebeo.
bottle. of that.
Pebeo.
This big bottle's probably 10 years.
Fibio.
Is it just like a paperweight now?
No, it's still.
Oh, it lasts 10 years.
Still, no.
No, it
don't know how
doesn't.
long it lasts. Nita Engle said it's about 2 to 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And do not leave masking fluid on more than 2 or 3 hours.
Oh,
You can leave it on overnight in a cool place. But longer than that, you
Sometimes
will not be
difficult to
able
get
to
off.
get it off of the paper.
Okay.
old mask, it doesn't come off.
Well, if you leave it on too long, it's very difficult for it to come off.
Okay. Just
See, all this masking fluid that everybody's spattering my drawing board with, I'm just
sorry.
gonna be able to rub off.
That's right.
So I'm
It's
not,
gummy.
I'm not
Sorry.
going crazy.
Yeah, I saw I did that.
No worries. Let's see if I have any emails.
Let's see what the bunch. This was the other one. Can I just dip it in
Yes,
there
I
some
thought
more?
that
That was the.
You're gonna need some brush cleaner.
Yeah.
Put it in there. Go to the bathroom, wash it out with soap right
I didn't
now.
catch the-
Yeah.
Does that just happen now?
Yes.
Oh,
Not,
That's-
it's my own,
Catch this
it's my
lady's
own.
name.
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Why-
Yes,
What's your name?
Ryan,
Ryan, this is what the bottle looks like.
No.
with the milk in this bottle.
Joe,
Yes,
mine's
Linda.
normal.
are we done with the masking fluid?
Oh, well, then you.
are we done with it? No,
Get a fresh
you're
one.
not done with it yet.
Okay, thank you,
We're gonna do the trees next.
thank you.
I know I got some white,
This is see,
Doc Martin's white there once that was. Oh, had been opened. and
Oh, did
used
they
and
make it
returned.
also, Dr. Martin?
yes.
I got one at Michael's, yeah.
Okay.
I have a white one.
Doctor.
After I returned the one that had been returned before.
I wonder if I have it, because my mom got me a big kit of the Dr. Martens.
Oh, no, that was ink,
That's
but
ink.
this is different. This is like a white out.
It's
This
this,
is a, yes,
Oh, okay, different,
yes.
like, look,
yeah.
It's a whole different
It's like
thing.
whitewash, but
Yeah, the
better.
Dr. Martin
Okay.
is the ink. Totally different.
okay. Oh.
Okay, now we're gonna do a tree.
Now we're gonna do a tree.
Okay,
Oh, oh.
Insulated,
oh, so make your shoes comfy,
well, they're already comfy, but makes it even better.
if they still fit, sometimes it takes some room in your
Does
shoe.
it memory foam on the front of the shoe? But then this, just, cause my ankles are messed up.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
okay. Get it.
Yeah,
Okay, so now we're on the tree.
so I'm basically standing a little bit tilted forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to basically drive back, buy a frame my other piece, and then drive to the fairground.
Today,
Yeah, so I'm busy tomorrow.
What are you entering?
Uh,
Which category?
just a drawing and an abstract, I think. And one's
Watercolor?
colored pen, no,
Colored pencil? Oh,
one's colored pencil and the other's, like mixed media, so like, charcoal and ink and,
sounds neat.
Conti crayon.
What crayon?
Conte.
Conte?
Oh, Conte, okay, yeah,
I don't know how to say it.
That's right.
yeah, that's right.
That's all.
So I'm gonna keep this ready to go.
Yes,
My soapy water is still okay, I think.
and you're not supposed to shake these,
Don't, yeah.
Oh,
No,
just
Okay.
swirl.
just, yeah.
makes little
It
bubbles.
I'm not
makes,
messing through
it makes, it's
Oh.
latex.
Oh,
So
okay.
it brings it together in a rubbery thing.
It's almost like rubber cement.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Mine's too old.
When we were kids, we used rubber cement.
Did you draw that while we weren't looking?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start.
Okay, this is my tree reference and this is my next one. And I'm doing all these because I want it to dry. So this was, I think you can see this bigger up here. I'll zoom in a little bit, see if I can. Plus. I don't know why that's not letting me get to my crawl bar, but why aren't you letting me do that? There. So that's kind of how I'm going to mask it from this photo. I
Do
see
you
some.
only use,
I
do
see
you
some
only
light.
use,
What?
I'm sorry, do you only use the soapy water in the very beginning or do you go back and repeat it?
No, I repeat it once, 2 or 3 times. If I put down 2 or 3 times on my paint, I'm going to go back and repeat. I'm going to dunk it again. You cannot over dunk. Okay.
Okay.
So here's my reference. And I'm going to start here because this is my star of the show. So that's in my rule of thirds, kind of, sort of. So, and you're going to be dumping a bunch of paint on here, so don't worry too much about it. I'm just doing this because I want to know where to put the mask.
You're not drawing the tree.
I'm drawing the tree.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Oh. The mask.
There's kind of my tree. And this is just for me, for my own reference. So there's my tree. There's that hot green. I've got a little bit happening there. I've got this little hole down here that I want to kind of protect. So that's my little hole, and I'm just putting a tree in there for now to remind me about that little hole. I've got some stuff going on over here. And so that's enough of a drawing for me to figure out, because I'm going to be painting all that later anyway. I'm going to take that masking fluid. The first thing I'm going to do is dunk my brush. It's my good brush, my go-to brush. Gonna get rid of the water, go back with my masking fluid. And I don't want to go up to the edge. I'm going to make all this mask. And down to here. I'll let this alone. And then I've got this little window down here. This little guy, I want to keep that. And then I've got some stuff coming in off to the side. These are little branches. I can paint with this just like I dry brush. I can spatter a little bit. Why not? So anyway, there's my beautiful masking. I'm going to dip my brush back in the water. So if anybody else wants to
I went
do,
in the bathroom.
do this, there's some masking on. You run out of mask, let me know. But when you get done masking your, for your tree thing, then I would go get your rock out of the sun.
So for the masking, for doing the highlights of
Just doing the light of what you see,
the light, okay.
the light. Here's light, here's, this whole top part is light. I'm gonna,
Okay, the
I'm gonna
sky
paint
also.
over it with
Right.
that. Got a little bit there. I wanna keep that.
All right.
Any place you wanna protect the paper.
Okay.
I forgot where you put your,
Well, see that white?
oh, just
there?
the lights, okay.
The light. Yeah,
Just the light,
yeah, keep dunking your brush.
wherever the sky is, where the light
The
is.
sky and this little, that little light hole down where that little tree in the lower left.
Okay.
I'm gonna save that, and I'm gonna save some of this stuff off to the right. But don't worry about it, because you can always peel this stuff off before you start to
I
paint.
don't think, I think I put too much down.
I think it looks good. This is more flatter.
I don't know how it's splattered.
Gotta get your inner style.
I
Good.
don't know. Okay.
Get messy.
If you want it, then I can do it that way.
Somebody brought in a Sunkist poster yesterday.
What kind of poster?
Sunkist, like this poster, but it was a weird format. They were asking if I had a frame for the size of your poster. It was like, I want to say 12 by 10. They're like, dude, I need this done in one day. It's due tomorrow for work. And I was like, why would your job ask you to do it the last day? She says, well, that's just, you know, my job. Who do you work for? Oh, Museum of Ventura County. I was like, what? Yeah, I think they'd be a little more professional.
Joe, should I mask also all the yellow foliage?
He's not here.
It's not here.
Here's some more.
Oh, thank you so much. So you said, it says you can keep on dipping.
He said, keep on washing it. I didn't
Oh,
know that.
washing
They
it.
say, see,
With
I
the-
didn't do that.
Oh, cause it's
So I
like
may
gunking
ruin
the
my
brush
brush.
off. Oh, I see.
She said, you need to keep on washing it. See, I didn't.
Yeah,
Say every time you use it, do this before you dip it in there. I think I'm gonna have to go and wash it.
You can be creative with your masking. In other words, I'm not trying to do a true Nita Engle. I think I showed you that. This painting back here, this Winter River, that was a ton of masking. That was,
this one. Oh, wow.
and that's pretty much Nita Engle. That's when she painted her winter scenes. That's a ton of masking.
But he asked a question on the,
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody asked a question.
Yeah, Joe, do you paint, I'm trying to see, but I can't see for sure. Are you also masking all the yellow part on the tree?
No, I want that to
Oh.
be color.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm just painting the light. I'm painting the sky and some places I want to retain the lightness because I'm going to slop a bunch of color on here.
okay, including that, the lighting coming down over the tree. I mean, on the left of the tree.
Oh, no, don't do that. That's a wipe.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise you'll have a hard edge.
Oh, true. Okay. All right, thanks.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
being very basic in all these masking techniques. So you
Less
don't
is-
have, yeah,
Less
you
is
can be,
more? Less is more?
yeah, just
Okay.
looser is better than tight.
All right,
Because I am not going around a profile of a cat that's backlit.
okay.
There's another way to do that anyway.
I did a little masking on the light side of the tree.
The light's coming from the left side.
Yeah, I did a little bit on that.
Yeah, I masked, well, here you can see what I masked.
Okay.
And then you can see how much, this was after I put paint on it, and this was after I took the mask off. So I
Okay.
didn't need stuff down here, so I just covered it up.
Oh, I see.
So you can either take away the mask once it's dry just by peeling it off. If you made a mistake or you had second thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, mask can be very creative. You can paint very loose with it.
Okay.
Does not have to be tight.
Is that enough now?
Put out.
You wanted the rocks now.
Fail,
By the way,
fail away. What?
masking fluid is to what? It's to protect the paper. And it doesn't have to be white paper. You can mask at any time in your painting.
Where did everybody go?
Cleaning their brush, probably. That'll take a while to dry. But once it's half dry, these blobs, drops I just put on, once you can see it start to skin, you can just put a paper towel and gently blot it.
Okay.
It's gonna be okay. What a mess.
Oh, that's a tissue paper. Alive.
So I'm going to get rid of this water. I'll be right back.
Lunchtime already?
I just had a cookie. I was hungry. Those cookies are delicious.
Oh, my fresh food.
Your brush have the stuff on it?
No,
No,
I think it's okay.
I don't know what I did wrong. Are you supposed to? Not
Soak it first.
just this, get this stuff only up to before the metal,
Right,
the app.
yeah.
So
It's
maybe
okay.
some stuff in it still, see a little bit, but it was one of the crappy brushes you gave.
Uh-huh. So this, I don't have no
It
idea.
may be safe, but
It would stay safe.
Robertson.
I don't, yeah, probably not.
No, I
It's
don't,
just super old.
I don't think I have any real.
Oh, then it could be.
Yeah. Doesn't say, but it is old. It's just, it doesn't have a, it doesn't, that's why she gave it to me, because it doesn't have like a great,
What?
a great point.
It doesn't have the spring.
Yeah.
Now, see?
It doesn't have like,
Yeah,
Look.
but if you do this to this one, it
Right.
bounces back.
see
Oh,
this,
I see.
this
yeah,
too.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
gave me this same brand, where it's like, kinda, it just lays to the side.
Was it a set? Is it all set?
These are like hers from the 60s, right?
I have no idea, you know, where I get
Oh,
any of my
yeah.
stuff.
But this, I don't know. This has always had this like,
Dot on it?
yeah.
I must have marked my brushes at one.
Oh,
point.
yeah, well, I used to do that
Or
too.
pond.
No,
Uh,
that one was from the brush.
Like
Man,
brush
the
man?
brush
That
man.
pond,
really?
uh-huh.
Oh,
Brush man.
yeah.
Yeah, the brush man.
Not the fuller brush man. No, no. Yeah, I've got some.
Remember him? Yeah, isn't that
You always
something?
had to be careful of those brushes. They were usually seconds, and there was a reason they were seconds. But that's why they were so good price.
Oh,
such a
yeah.
good price.
Yeah.
too.
There you go.
Yeah. They're fine for me. I'm not,
Where's your leaves?
I left it
I
outside.
bring it in, it's dry. Hey.
Bet you can't eat just 30.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yes.
tell everybody.
Is that the cookie?
Yeah, really good.
Those cookies are death. Okay, this masking fluid on my board here, I'm just gonna blot up if I can. If I can't, I'm just gonna rub it off with my finger.
What, on the desk?
Yeah. So now I've got a clean board. And now I've got this. And I'll bring that back up.
Okay, we're doing the leaves now?
Yep, we're done prepping. But that was that was necessary. We're gonna do this first. This is a water mask and it's very handy. Very, very handy. You'll see the possibilities for this. And this should be taped down on something.
Okay.
Gonna use this. You can just tape the corners if you want. You don't have to tape everything, but you're gonna have to manipulate this a little bit.
Take Africans.
Hey. You guys can see me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, need a little more time.
I'll wait till everybody's ready for this because it's gonna go fast.
What I've been using at the start of the
You get this 10 rolls at a time off Amazon. It's great. It's a cheap tape, so it doesn't tear your paper when it comes up.
Okay.
So you just keep it.
I need to get new tape.
Oh, you need tape.
Well, I don't need a whole roll, but if I could find a link.
10 rolls, huh?
Is that masking tape or?
Yeah.
tape?
That's Amazon basic masking tape.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
like,
it's really good because it's not quite as sticky.
yeah, this is a lot less sticky than mine.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want Gorilla tape, believe me.
Right. They might tell me this tape and it was.
Oh, what color should we have ready?
Put it against your pan.
Okay.
Put it on the thing, it won't be as sticky.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
good
that's,
idea.
that's a trick.
Get
too.
some lint
That's
off
what
too.
Paul
Yeah.
used to do.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
what color should we have ready?
Well, I don't know. Look at the reference.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I've got these green leaves with these red splotches kind of all over it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to emulate. And how do I do that? As a watercolor artist, how do I do that?
Hey.
Red, so green, so brown, so yellows.
So is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just go ahead and you follow what I do. Don't start yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is get clean water. I probably got some masking fluid in, some residue.
Look at
It's good there's only 5 people there.
Doesn't have to be pure. But what I'm going to do is this paper is flat. This board is flat. I'm going to paint soppy water around all the leaves. I'm going to make sure it's really, really glossy wet. Big strokes, lots of water. You can do this with any subject. Oh. I just dipped my brush in my mistake in this. I swear to God, if there's a container around, I dip my brush into it. It's usually my coffee, but
I just drank some tape. It was so disgusting.
This is not oil paint.
Okay, I want this really soppy, glossy wet. I don't have to be too careful.
Touch the leaf.
Yeah, how close are you getting to the leaf?
It doesn't make a lot of difference if you do it in one stroke. So this is, I can see this is pretty glossy wet. I think you can kind of see how glossy wet it is. I'm gonna add a little more water up here. Soppy. Soppy wet, except for the leaves. Now, I'm gonna use some alizarin with some red in it. So I'm gonna go over the green. And I'm gonna start spattering. Oh my God.
I am.
There we go.
How thick is your paint?
Half and half cream.
And splatter.
Yeah, I'm spattering. I'm looking at my reference. I'm trying to get that feel. A little bit down here. Most of it's on this upper leaf.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean my brush best as I can, and I'm gonna start washing the water away.
Please don't.
I got a paper towel in my hand and I'm picking this up. See, I can pick most of that up. I'm not going to be able to pick it all up here. I can also do this. Look at that.
What? With a paper towel?
I just wiped a bunch of it off with a paper towel. Gotta use good paper for this. Otherwise you'll tear it up. And that's going to dry out even lighter, but I have put texture on all those leaves and I still have a clean background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like much more on this paper though.
Yeah. Paper covered. Okay, here we go.
That's another reason to use good paper.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let this dry now. And this is how it kind of sort of will dry out. I can add some more of these leaves later. I am gonna have a little residue, but I don't care about that. First glance at this, I've got all this texture against this plain background. And this is how it was done. And I am going to let this dry and then go back and paint some detail on the leaves, some lifting, etc. But that is water masking, simple water masking, and it really works quite well. I think. I'm gonna add
Feel like you're getting the orange back on that.
Yeah, but it's just,
Unless you want to keep the dirty.
no, it's because it's not the water, it's me. It's
Okay.
me hitting the leaf, dragging it with me.
You could dip the paper towel in the clean water too.
I think that this might be, I'll see if it's dry enough. I think I might have to go set it in the sun for a couple of minutes. I'll see you in a second. I'll mix up a little bit different color green. Gonna be okay. Kind of interesting.
Now,
I'm just adding the other leaves while I'm waiting for you.
Remember, you said not supposed to finish the paint.
I'm just trying it on different papers.
Yeah. Anyway, so there is, I'm gonna let this dry and then I can go back and I can finish it.
Okay, we can put these outside to dry or not?
I'm sorry?
Should we put these outside to dry or?
Yes, you can put these outside to dry and get out your rock. That color while I have it. I want this to.
Because the paper's still a little bit wet. He was just doing a little.
It was pretty damp, but I put this on, I wiped it off pretty well. I put that on and it seemed to hold the edge. So my paper was pretty dry. Dry enough to get an edge. Let's put that one. Whose tree is this? Yeah, it's getting pretty big out there. So,
Is it getting cooked?
yeah, it's getting cooked a little bit.
I thought something.
I know we're going back and forth between these exercises, but that's okay. I want you to have the experience of them.
I think the water masking worked really well.
And it's the process of doing these too. So I'm getting out my rock.
Yes. All right, Susan.
They said it'd be 83 here.
Yeah,
Behind.
where I live, it's 99.
Ooh. More inland?
I live in Santa Clarita.
Oh, yeah.
Always one.
My brother has a house out there.
But you know what? The evenings cool down and it's a great time to go.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I mean, it's not.
So I just sleep during the day. So,
Thank God for air conditioning, right?
And vampirism.
And what?
Vampires.
Oh,
Yeah, AC in the pool. It's like,
Yeah.
it's the only way.
it's not, you don't have humidity, so good luck.
My mom and dad live in Oak Park,
Uh-huh.
and it's,
So that's warm.
yeah, it's just as hot,
Yeah, kind of like,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe not as hot as Santa Clarita, but close.
Went out to lunch with some friends of ours that live in, Winnetka
Oh.
in the valley. When we left their house, it was 100. We came home from the park, it was 85.
We used to live in Florida
15
Ranch.
degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
Between the
that.
winds and the heat. it was-
so how did your leaves turn out
Mine
Nice.
was bad.
so far?
I'm happy. They're probably mistakes.
Failure
I'm gonna
is-
do it again with good paper later. I was
Okay,
using lousy
but now
paper.
you know the process.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you can do that with anything at the start of your painting. So,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
oh, sure. We all learn from each other.
Are we gonna put the leaves in the sun, Joe?
I did just because
Yeah.
it'll be ready to go. Okay, I've got my rock. All I'm gonna do with my finger is start rubbing some holes in it. I don't have to follow what's on the rock, but see how easily you can rub holes in there.
No, it does not rub holes.
Are you using the PBO?
No, I couldn't get it. I've got something called Winsor
Oh.
and Newton watercolor medium.
Should we use the,
You have to have mask. If nothing else, it's masking fluid.
I love it. It looks like bubbles.
Yeah.
how about,
You can use this for foam for the ocean.
Yes.
you ever use the rubber remover thingy instead of your finger?
Pickup.
The rubber remover.
It's a pickup.
Yeah, I have.
I know. I would rather use my. I would rather use my finger.
That's actually what I call my nails. Rubber remover thing.
Anyway, so there's some holes rubbed in there. And I'm just going to put down a color. I'm going to put down a lighter color because I'm gonna rub some more. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna rub some more holes. And put down another color, and that's gonna make that color that's already on there darker.
This was coming off completely.
So I'm just using this kind of brown.
Brown.
Anyway, now I have to let that dry.
Asking, it won't work like that here.
Oh, it's too late. I'm not doing it now.
Can do a little one.
You splatter the brown too, or is it just, that's just where it's
Spatter? No, I'm just
no, that's just the way it was. Huh?
I'm just painting the brown.
Did you want to remove like the spatter in the sky or anything like that, or just leave the?
Well, it's up to you. If you don't want it there, rub it off.
Okay.
There you go. I don't want this spatter up here, so I'm just gonna rub it off. Nope, gone, gone. There you go.
You're the master of your universe.
Right.
I'm gonna rub a little bit over here. Just for a little continuity. There you go. So that's my first set of my rocks. My rock. And I'll do some along the edge here. Because that's going to roughen that edge up, right?
It works good with rough paper better than with smooth paper.
I'm sorry?
Using rough paper allows you to get more texture.
Yeah.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yep. I think I'm not going to put this one in the sun. I'm just going to put some darker color on top. Because I think this is set enough. So there's some dark color. There's some darker color on top of that.
Did you remove more?
Yes. Gonna remove a little bit more. Some darker color. You don't have to be too careful with this.
Sorry, are you removing it after you paint?
I'm sorry?
Are you removing the?
Yeah, in a dry place.
Okay.
I can blot some of this paint off. It's already kind of soaked in the paper. I just want you to be able to see whether it's a, I don't care what you're painting. I don't care what the subject is. If you need this texture, this is an easy way to get it.
Mm-hmm.
In a creative way, if really.
Yeah.
It's got to be brown.
We're gonna have a short break in about 20 minutes. And I want to make sure that we have enough stuff done before them. So I'm looking at this rock and I'm gonna change my plan a little bit. So I'm waiting for this to dry. I might as well be doing something. So I'm going to mix up some of that warm color on those pine needles, those dried out pine needles below. And I'm just going to start framing this in.
Which colors are you using?
Which one?
The colors you're using now.
Just make,
Main color.
I'm using burnt sienna with a little red in it. You can use anything you want. In fact, I suggest that you mix it up. There's some burnt umber. There's some purple. Just to break that up a little bit. I want this to dry. I'm gonna put another gray rock out here. But I'm just gonna do it with paint. Here's another rock. I'm also think I'm gonna put some, why not? When in doubt. Kind of cool. I'm setting this up so I can use a plastic, so I can use this on top of it. I can use this. And I'm gonna make rocks on top of this.
Down. People.
This is gonna be so white under here when you rub off that mask. But at least we'll have this done before we break.
Joe, can you re-add the masking every once in a while if you want to?
Yes, you can mask at any time.
Okay.
So I'll just let that dry. A few minutes.
I think I'm gonna have to cheat and use the bleed white proof later.
Okay. If I peel this off and I don't think I have enough texture, let it dry, apply some more mask.
I borrow some, plastic.
Mm-hmm.
One piece.
I got it. She's over here. Yeah, we have that soft one. You want a little bit? Okay, I got it. Ryan, did you bring the plastic wrap?
Yeah. The cutter is not the best, but.
I'd rather use those. That stuff's too clingy.
Okay.
Okay.
You said the bottom?
Said what?
Are you asking the bottom? I mean, putting this on the bottom?
Are you gonna use that manipulate the plastic however you want?
Okay.
You know what looks really good is our dry cleaning pen. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Joe, what works really good is dry cleaner pen.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and, soft.
Yeah. So this is fairly dry down here, so I can have this drying before. So all I'm gonna do is take this, and I've already done that. I'm gonna mix up a darker color.
Okay, how did you do the plastic? What did you,
I'm just laying it down flat
but how did you put paint on it?
with a brush.
Oh, you painted it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I painted the surface and then put the plastic on top of it.
Me too. Okay. We're going.
No, we're not doing the usual
Oh, okay.
crinkle plastic thing. We've all done that. This is how she did it.
Okay.
okay.
That's one of the first things you learn when you start painting in watercolor is that saran wrap and you get ice crystals and thorns and stuff like that. So I'm just painting the plastic. That's what I'm doing. I'm just painting the plastic. And I want some nice paint on there. And then see that nice pattern? All I'm gonna do is put it over and make a monoprint. Look at that. I'm just gonna touch it with my fingers a little bit. Look at those beautiful rocks it's making. Beautiful
Right.
texture. Add a little bit to it. Put a little bit up here. I couldn't paint that. I could not figure out how to paint that. So now I have this beautiful little rocky texture diagonally. I'm going to use some of that color for a shadow under here. Do a shadow under that rock back there. I can repeat this. I think it's still damp enough. Let's see. Yeah. I can repeat this over here just so it's not in just one spot. See those little rocks I made? It's pretty cool because it's unlike anything I could paint. So it worked great for abstract painting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let that dry.
Okay, so what colors did you paint the plastic?
I used burnt sienna, I used raw burnt sienna, I put some Payne's gray in it, I put some alizarin in it to make it burgundy-ish. And you can control this. When I first laid that down, it had a couple of thicker blobs. And then I could just by rubbing my finger on what was left on it, I'm designing is what I'm doing. I'm designing. Anytime I do any of this stuff, I'm designing. I have something in mind. I'll soften that a little bit to give a little better entrance into there. And that's going to balance, that dark is going to balance,
You put the
what I'm-
plastic on, do you kind of try to keep it in a,
I just put it, I hovered over where I was.
with paper?
I hovered over the paper where I wanted it, and then I just dropped it.
Like, is this right, or is the paint not thick enough?
Where are you putting it?
On the sky here?
Why would you,
That's where I thought you did it at.
no, these are rocks down below.
Oh, you did it down below.
Yeah, and that should be dry if you want a hard edge. So I have all this dark down
Oh.
here.
So don't do this.
So again, I'm designing for me. I am going to put some dark up there. Now that balances it better. I have no idea what that's gonna be, but I don't care. It's gonna balance it better.
Well,
So that's why I prefer this kind of plastic. My mats came with it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just taking advantage of what the watercolor is giving me. At this point, I have, I'm going to paint and adjust, paint and adjust. There's the edge of that rock. And I won't know what I have until I take the mask off. I know I'm gonna have a bunch more white. Gonna have that whole thing. That's gonna be a lot of white that is going to pop that rock.
The blue.
We haven't started to paint that yet.
No.
Okay,
I tried
so
to
you're
try to
gonna
take it off.
Cover this over the bottom.
Try to take it off.
Anyway, this old crappy plastic is better, I think. Look at this part where they heat welded it together. You know how it comes. Look at all that beautiful texture that I could not get using saran wrap or anything like that. Yeah. Anyway, this is a great piece of plastic. I think it came off of some mats. So don't throw that away. So I'm gonna go put this in the sun.
I made a mistake.
Now I can't see it.
Ah, gotta make your own.
You got her in kindergarten?
Yeah, seriously.
I'm getting the feel of this stuff.
So the first thing after our short lunch break, no more than 12:30, please, is we'll finish up these leaves. That's pretty dry by now, but look at the,
You put
I
the sky?
retained the
No,
shape of the
I messed
leaves
up. I
Uh,
did that.
without
it
having
says
to
we're not there yet.
mask. I don't care about this little stuff. In fact, that adds to it
Don't
for
worry about
me.
me.
So I'll just put some stuff in the leaves and we'll be done with that. And then I want to start the tree. Because that is going to require some drying. That should be dry by here's a little trick you can do too. This masking fluid is a drop, so it's going to be thicker than if you brush it on. I'm just going to take this and put a paper towel over it and see it's already started to skin up.
That was with the fresh masking fluid,
That was with the what?
like a fresh masking fluid. How you just,
Yeah, I added some spatter.
okay.
So this is going to be ready to go for our very loose paint.
Make your sandwich.
All right, I'm gonna put this on the side.
I gotta do this down. This is gonna be our. Oh. No, much better.
Have you ever applied the masking fluid the same way you just applied the paint on, like by using the plastic?
Oh, sure, you could apply masking fluid. I've used chopsticks. I've used plastic wrap. I've spattered. I've brushed. I've used a palette knife. Yeah, it's just what you're doing is painting light, or the lightest part of the painting.
So I'm still not sure how you put the plastic on here without covering up the rock, or you don't care if it covers up the rock. Or...
No, here's what I'm going to do.
Mhm. No, I wouldn't.
You're painting with this. This is my, instead of a brush, I'm painting with this.
Oh,
Okay.
you got it thin.
I'm painting with this.
Okay, I see.
So now I'm going to just take this darker color.
Something dark.
Something dark, because I want it to be darker than this. So I'm going to brush some paint on my plastic. However I think, I can, I'm painting here. Is that a rock? Is that a rock? There's a long stroke. There's a bunch. So now when I turn this over, I'm just going to let it touch. So you see what's happening here?
Oh, okay.
See, I could just take my finger and kind of extend that guy. I don't have to use it all over here, but I can make a nice little section out of that. See those rocks? And now I can lift it, go touch it someplace else. I make more rocks. I can squeeze it down and make it thicker. And then I can connect some of these shapes. Say, okay, that's going to be more of a rock. That's going to be more of a rock. So you see, I can manipulate it, but I got this pattern.
It's just so nice.
I'm doing this pattern going down. So, and I can put a little bit of this if I want to. I'll put a little bit of this over here. Just so that's not by itself. See how it picks it up.
Okay,
See what I mean?
so, yeah, so I think so. So these are rocks.
Well, I'm making them raw. I think they look rocky.
Uh-huh.
They look pebbly.
Yes, okay. Cause it,
To me, they do.
see, I thought that you were just.
I don't
making-
care. I'm not.
I thought you were just making these little marks and.
No, That's what,
That's it,
this is
yeah.
what that is. I'm adding rocks.
You're adding.
I'm not
some
copying, I'm creating.
I see. Okay, good.
Don't copy, create. You can do better than your photo.
Save the chinette.
There you go, Joe.
What else?
Turkey and monster cheese.
Oh, I've got something thinking.
It just have,
Mess mine up.
you got to
Don't
eat,
look at me.
got to keep you healthy.
Oh,
Very
Yeah,
good.
the same.
oh, okay,
It's turkey and monster cheese. You have a lot of calcium, so.
okay. Might save that for lunch Monday. That'll keep
That's
it.
your lunch.
If-
Much. It's just-
If
I
you're,
get them because they're so small.
if you're not going to eat them, otherwise you could have it for lunch Monday. I still got this to eat.
Oh, okay.
But that's not what I eat.
Wow.
Glasses. Oh, there they are. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on what we've done so far? I think you can all see where we're going with these techniques and how they can be applied. I've got, Steve might be interested in this. Let me share my screen again. I'm going to go back to cluster. I still have cluster. Yeah, I think I still have cluster. So I went on a paint out and I found this, it wasn't the reference for the paint out. I found this tractor across the street. And this would make some beautiful impressionistic abstract paintings, I think. And you could apply some of these. Look at this, what we just did with that plastic and touching it to that shape.
Off of,
That, you can see the possibilities. Here's actually what they looked like. Here's more.
and near.
This beautiful old engine, 216. Anyway, there's more and more and more. Here was the old tractor. All this stuff in here was just beautiful, aged. Anyway.
I wouldn't think that it was that close to my village,
Did you see that, Steve?
just because they're the same.
Did you see that? Yeah, okay,
Look it
cool.
up.
Yeah, that looked nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great fun. You could render that so many different ways. Okay, you guys are on lunch break until 12:30. You can finish up what you're working on or do it again. Try it again, whatever you did. Or
Yeah.
and in about 10 minutes, I'm going to share a video I found this morning, and it's not an art video. Oh my God, I have not shown any videos today, and I'm not going to, except this.
You get all home. I mean, if you're thinking. Yeah.
Make me go and more. This is the other one is the one removes again. Yeah. You want to use your make this back to
The Ulo.
when I'm smoking deep.
Yeah.
That makes it a deep part, right?
No, you don't have to. And just give me a green lime and something.
My memorable article association example.
Oh, do you know zoning?
Oh, yeah. And Joe came out, years ago for a demo, for, not for a demo. We did a workshop. She's saying, how did I find you? Must have been through the Santa Cruz Artist Association.
Yeah,
Came out years ago.
yeah, we've known each other a long time.
Yeah, and then I really liked the styles. I started taking workshops here. During all the lockdown, took a lot online. And then sometimes he comes out to Santa Clarita and he does a workshop. It's a lot there. Usually when you come out, there's a big, about 25 or so.
I have to laugh about the one workshop where we did the wax on the flowers. And list of materials, it was white crayon, candle, paraffin. And I bought the big block of paraffin.
Yeah, you can do that.
It's very hard to cut. I had all of it. I thought-
Or heat up
There
your
was
flame.
no ore. There was no ore, that you only needed one.
Was that or I drew with a camera.
Yeah, there was flowers, we did flowers, and one of them was, notion scene. It was the third one of it.
We did a mountain. Fraction list. Yeah. Well, this is the same thing.
Sharon, are you glad you came?
Oh, yes.
We met
Good.
last time.
Yes, it's just so good to find people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, I can walk up and see your colors.
Yes.
I can walk up and see,
Okay, so
you
how do you
know,
know?
how you're holding your brush or whatever stroke you're doing, you know, it just makes a difference.
Who? Who? No.
It's like, oh my, that's terrible.
I'm going to unmute myself and while you're eating, I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to show you something. It's not art. I don't even know if I want to share it because I kind of connected with a couple of things in there. So, and it's only 10 minutes.
Hey, how you going, man?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now. Okay. 10 minutes for the next 10 years. And I don't care if you like Matthew McConaughey or not. I don't care. It's like Steve Jobs and his famous speech. This is 10 minutes and I got some nuggets out of it. So I thought I'd share it. So if you like it, fine. If you don't, fine. Anyway, here we go.
I'm going to talk to you about some things I've learned in my journey. Most from experience, some of them I heard in passing. Many of them I'm still practicing, but all of them I do believe are true. Now, they may be truths to me, but don't think that makes them mine because you cannot own the truth. So please think of these as signposts, approaches, paradigms that give some science to satisfaction. So yours to share, like into your own lives, to personally apply in your own lives, in your own way, should you choose to. So here we go. Unbelievable is the stupidest word in the dictionary. Should never come out of our mouths. Think about it. To say, oh, wow, what an unbelievable play. It was an unbelievable book, an unbelievable film, an unbelievable act of courage. Really? It may be spectacular, it may be phenomenal, most excellent or outstanding, but unbelievable. Give others and yourself more credit. It just happened. You witnessed it. You just did it. Believe it. Give your obstacles credit.
You know, once you do find your frequency on something, go forward if you're a non-tyrant and don't ask permission. And that's the not giving a damn part. I've found that the world will actually acquiesce and go, yeah, I'll give you a green light on that. If you actually go forward and mean it, like you're going to do it by hook or by crook and not ask permission.
Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it. Get on. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them.
Sit here in that discomfort long enough to go, okay, until you come out the other side to go, all right, I'm good with me again. I don't want to leave a place I traveled to until I get to the point of going, I could live here. This could be my existence. And as soon as I get to that point, then I'm like, okay, you can go. Now I can go. It's the same thing in the personal journeys. Stick with it until you get through the discomfortable, uncomfortable times, until you go, you know what? I can spend time with myself. I could do this. I could do this forever. Well, then it's okay to go re-engage, pick up your phone, go see your friends, go have a drink, what have you, go look for those things that are other relationships in life. But hopefully not until. There's great value in not doing that until you go, I'm good with me and me for right now.
So to any of us, whatever those things are, whatever it is we look up to, whatever it is we look forward to, and whoever it is we're chasing, to that I say amen. To that I say, all right, all right, all right. To that I say, just keep living, huh? Thank you.
In just a few clicks, you can become your own bank. Yes, you heard that right. Just imagine. That means no more stress about banks falling like.
Anyway, he was talking to a bunch of graduates. He was talking to somebody who is a quarter my age. Anyway, I thought it was very interesting for someone my age to connect with some of those things because I thought they were pretty interesting. And as I said, I just thought it was a good lunch video.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, liked it. Liked it very much.
Yeah, it'll get you, I don't know. Get you thinking, motivated, unmotivated, validated. I don't know. That's you and you.
It was unbelievable.
Well, I was that person's house.
I knew someone was gonna say that. It was unbelievable.
That's the state of those word in the dictionary.
That's funny. Okay, we are going to start slopping some paint. I know that's an art term, right? Slopping paint. So we're going to start slopping paint in 5 minutes. So I'm going to just try to, this is what I ended up with, but I'm just going to try to capture what I see here in puddles of color. Puddles of color.
That sounds like an art term.
Yeah, another art.
Oh, Joe,
Yes.
where did you get the cinnamon toast crunch?
Off the
This-
cinnamon toast crunch box.
Yeah,
Yes.
they had, I went to the X Games in Ventura
Uh-huh.
and they had little bags that they were giving away for free with that same smiley face on
My
it.
son ate that, he used to eat that.
Yeah,
And so I love the backs of the boxes. So I've got at home behind my desk, I've got like 5 of them. Yeah, it makes me
Happy.
makes me smile when I
Yes.
look at that.
my friend, I went with my friend and he goes, "You're not actually gonna eat that, are you?" And he's like, I was like, why not? It's like free food. It's just sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like even the
It's
bread,
just sugar.
even the bread, even the bread that breaks down, it's more
It's almost
sugar.
as good as unbelievable. It's just sugar.
Just the most addictive thing on the planet.
Trader Joe's makes a knockoff, and that's what my daughter buys for the grandkids.
Yeah.
And it's not bad, but it's not the same.
No, I think I might have got that one.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
they
the
eat
same.
it, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes I have a little, square, and I was like,
And you think, wow, this is probably healthier, but at the same time, it doesn't have that same, there's not as many chemicals, so you don't get that same taste.
I know, but. when
And
you
it
think
kind of
about-
makes you more sad.
I know, when you think about all that Captain Crunch and all that stuff, it's so bad, for you.
Oh, yeah.
Like really bad.
I-
So,
I've had a cavity for years. My dentist won't.
why?
He just keeps on saying,
It's a
I
baby.
need to, like, until it gets bigger.
Okay, so it's not that.
Watch it. And my dad was a dental technician for a little while in his life, and he's like, that is the worst thing to do. He's like, you can maybe get a root canal if he doesn't fill it. Like, tell him that you want to fill it. And I
I'll
was
go to a
like,
different dentist or something. I don't want it to
right.
get so bad that where you get an infection or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I do this oil pulling though every morning with coconut oil. Just basically swishing for 20 minutes, very slowly. And my cavity hasn't grown. I mean, I don't eat like I have a sweet tooth. I'll eat sweets, when they're around. But I don't know, I'm doing something right.
As long as it doesn't get worse.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess around.
Okay.
Oh.
It's what, like a year?
It's like a thing in the book.
I have a friend who's has to have 5 teeth pulled down here, and then he lost one of the teeth, fell out by itself.
Okay, I'm gonna get some clean water.
Rocks or trees? Trees.
Tree.
I just sold a computer case. I took out all the guts in the computer.
Yeah.
Basically, I washed it under my bathtub water, dried it, and I sold just the case for probably almost as much as the computer itself sells for.
How much is that?
$40. It's not a great computer.
Yeah, who pays for the
But-
shipping?
I'm gonna pay the shipping,
How much is that gonna cost?
$11 something cents.
Okay, so your profit, what, $30?
I
At
wrapped it,
least you get it out of the
wrapped it
apartment.
pretty tight.
Okay, I am going to use gravity, so that means
Okay.
my board or my pad is tilted.
Do we need to tape it down to something?
Well, I'm using it on a block. So yes, I would.
Is that paint? Okay. Right side up.
Okay, I know that is going to remain sky. It's going to remain protected paper. I can make it whatever I want later. So I'm interested in all my paper areas that are left. In fact, I think I'm going to peel away around this edge to make it a little more broken up. And I'm talking about that little spot. Why not?
Yeah, but not too far away, but.
Okay. So there you go. So I'm going to start with watercolor. I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is that yellow. And I'm just going to not paint anything but an abstract painting. I'm going to put those colors where I see it. And for me, keeping within the rule of thirds, kind of, sort of, I'm up in this quadrant. Not that, but that, not that, not that. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to start with yellow. Why not? You know what? I am going to not wet this first. I want to start with yellow. So I'm painting wet on dry. So I see some yellow coming on down and through there. I see some yellow over here. See some yellow coming down here. Abstract. My abstract painting. Now I'm going to go into my greens. I'm going to use some cerulean in that same yellow. And let some of this mix and mingle. I'm going to add some teal to that too. Don't try to paint anything specific. Just try to capture the feel of this scene. You're painting an abstract painting. I'm going to put a little bit of that color up here, even though it's not there. Not worried about that yet. I do want some more yellow up here. Oh, fun. Oh no, I dropped my brush. I'm gonna keep some yellow going on this little hole right here. Some little lighter color. Gonna add some Payne's gray. Gonna make some darker tealy kind of color. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna go right through here. I'm gonna use some spatter.
So mine, to confirm that I came, for you.
Gonna use some of this dark coming right through here. It's kind of an interesting pattern. And I am going to give it a little quick shot of water. I am going to let stuff start running around a little bit. Colors running into colors. I probably have to add some color. Oh, look at that. Doing its thing. I'm going to spatter some yellow.
You're all set, okay? Thank you very much. You take care. Once again, enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't know how to mute ourselves.
Yeah, it's kind of looking like foliage. Trees to me, at least.
Can't see the color.
I'm going to take some real sloppy color. Let that run up. If I need some help, I'll just use my spray bottle. I want to kind of reinforce that teal a little bit. Just do that.
You know that I haven't used my.
There. Now I'm going to throw in a little salt. She used salt.
Oh, without salt.
That's enough. Anybody need salt? Want salt?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Where did you put the salt?
Wherever you want. Just don't put it all over. It's not wallpaper. I put a bunch up here and I put a little bit over here. And now I'm just going to let it paint itself. And we'll see what happens.
Don't put it everywhere.
In fact, I'm going to go just set this outside. I'll leave it here for a few minutes so you can see. But I think I've kind of captured what I wanted to say.
Joe?
Yes?
Okay, I just got back from lunch. I'm sorry to have to ask the question. Did you already take off the masking?
No,
Oh, okay, just paint the color in?
I'm just making a mess. I'm
Okay,
making an artful, an
so-
artful mess.
okay,
I'm just trying to capture the essence of that. Things are going to change. It's not going to be exactly the same. And that's great. I'll let some of this run down. Mix mingle. This is not unlike the bullseye in a way. I've applied paint and now I'm going to just have fun.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to capture this scene. And of course, this is all going to dry lighter. Of course. So we'll see what the salt does. This is fun. So I'm going to go let this dry outside. Kind of sort of looks like this, huh? This is a good way to do even those engine parts.
I don't know what he's talking about.
If you draw or paint engines,
Yeah, we'll
like,
do that all the time.
like the texture of it. Yeah, in my spare time.
What'd you do? Did you make a good mess? Did you make a good mess? Good. So again, I'm trying to keep this in my focal area, but all those rest, these curved branches are kind of framing it. These light shafts of light are kind of framing it. All the rest of this stuff is, it's just a tree. It's just a tree and a bunch of foliage. So I don't want to paint all those leaves. I don't want to paint any of it. So
Salt has to go on when it's wet, right?
I'm sorry?
The salt has to go on when it's wet.
Yes, damp.
Okay.
Salt has a mind of its own. If it's too wet, it will go away. If it's too dry, it won't work.
Okay.
We all know the magic of salt.
Good or bad?
Everybody's salt works better than mine. Everybody's.
I'll grab my salt.
Did I make a mistake again, Joe? Were you not going for the tree trunk? Saving that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is step by step.
Yeah.
So just don't try to complete the whole painting. Right now.
Okay.
We're just getting the bones started.
All right.
Anybody else need salt? Want salt?
I will need the salt. Put it on here.
Oh no, what have I got? That's kind of interesting. By the way, when you rub off this mask, you can use your fingers. You can use a pickup, but I have never found that necessary. You can use your fingers. And if you're unsure about it, you can use a paper towel. So I'm just gonna go back and forth and start taking some of this mask off. See what I have.
Are we taking it all off?
Yeah, if it's dry. I've actually done paintings where I like the mask. I want to leave it on.
Yeah.
So this is what I was hoping for. I've got this nice texture in these rocks. I got a variation in the color. This down here picks those shapes back up again. And they're all organic shapes, and I did not paint them.
Take the.
The plastic painted it, the rubber, the mask painted it. Yeah. So that's the advantage.
Joe? Joe? Joe?
Yes,
This is Linda. I have to leave in about 30 minutes. You'll be sending out the thing on tape?
yes, it's being recorded. I'll send you everything.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, sure. And it's a lifetime link. It will be on Zoom for today, tomorrow, and then I'll transfer it over to YouTube. So I will send you a Zoom link today or tomorrow morning, and I will send you a YouTube link as soon as that's processed.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Well, it kind of sort of looks like my reference. Kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want my reference to inspire me, not hold me hostage.
Are we gonna apply any more mastic?
No, we don't have time. You can, if you're doing this on your own, yes, you could. I'm gonna start shaping this rock just a little bit for me. So I see this little part right here, and I'm gonna just use this kind of cool color. And that's gonna be, this rock is gonna be in front of that rock. Can you just see what I did? Now I'm giving it form.
Like bluish cerulean kind of color.
I'm sorry?
You're using kind of a cerulean gray.
It's kind of Payne's gray with some, I don't know. It's kind of a Payne's gray. I'm using a little dry brush. Give it some rough texture. There, I've given that rock some form. Starting to look like a rock now, huh? Or at least I think so. I still have mask over here. Take this off. There we go. I think what I'll do next is start putting in this background, but I'll give you guys I'm gonna make that darker, I'm gonna make that darker, and that just made this rock. There's some texture. Here's a little texture. It's not about the color, it's about the value of the color. But her fun part. You can go back in here if you want to now, because it's already given me everything that I wanted it to give me as far as a texture. So I can go back in, I'm looking at this reference right here, some of these little spots. I can go back in here and I can put those in by hand. Define that just a little bit more. Pretty rocky. While I'm here and I have some of this color left design wise, I want this to be that path going through. So I am going to kill some of this. I'm going to make this a shape down here. That's a design thing, I think. I don't know how far I want to go with that. That works for me. Okay, I'm gonna wait till you guys get kind of this far. Do you have any questions about this? And we'll put it in the background. And I want to do a tree. Going right through there. It's not in the middle, it's off to the side. And it's going down right, if you can see it, it's going down in those rocks. It's actually growing out of that little area. So I want to make sure, the reason I drew that in there is to keep it light, so I can paint around it. There's several different techniques in this one painting. And we're going to do a little stamping on this painting with plastic and with matte board. That's what we'll end up with, something like this. So I'm gonna make a cool blue-green for the background. Pop that rock, didn't it? I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that orangey kind of color that we have down here. Burnt sienna. I'm gonna use a little orange in it. Start putting in a few trees.
Left the white tree there for what reason?
I'm gonna make it a tree. It's gonna be your focus.
The background, are you doing wet on wet?
It's wet on damp.
Okay.
It's gonna be okay to hold enough of a an edge. You just have to figure out what you are. What was that?
Sounds like a cat is throwing out.
Anything that suggests a woodsy background? Hey, we're almost done.
You are.
world is like my heart is light. I'm like the world is like my heart is light. I'm like a baby. There is no me. I know
Hello? Hello? Thank you. Can you un- can, can you unmute yourself, please? Wherever that's coming from. Thank you. You can go back and you can embellish this however you want.
Oh. Nice.
I'm going to make a stamp and finish this off. Make sense?
Oh, very much so. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, it just kind of connects them and it makes it kind of interesting.
That's silent because I feel like I'm speed painting and nothing's going where I want it. But I have a sense of humor.
There you go. That's most important. So I'm going to make a stamp to finish this. All I'm going to do is take my X-Acto knife. This is from part 1 or part 2. I think we used it in both. And I'm just going to make some vertical gouges. I'm going to try to make them kind of random. Some taller, some shorter.
You can try that.
Yeah. Don't be afraid, be pretty aggressive with it. See how
And what are these lines representing?
weeds,
Weeds, okay, grass,
just
the grass.
vertical strokes, just like this.
Mhm.
Make a row of them. Go.
Like this?
Yeah. Uh, the most important part is the handle. It is. There you go. I have my super duper handy handle. And now I can apply paint on this. And should it be darker or lighter? Let's start with darker. When I mix up some of that darker color that I had, I don't want it to be too crazy. fact, I think I'll make it more purpley. My palette is so contaminated right now, but I like the purple part. It's getting more purple, yes. So now I'm just gonna put paint on it.
What about what the paper rips up like this?
It's supposed to. See, look at that. Okay. Now I'm gonna test it first. Yeah. That'll work. See those weeds? Pretty cool. And I can make it a lighter color. Also, I can make it a darker color. I can make it a different color. I'll put orange on top of here. Just pure orange. I could make these all different colors as I stroke down, so they could be kind of a rainbow-ish thing. Kind of cool.
Yes, very.
Anyway, so there you go. There's our little scene, actually. We, of course, have done these making snowflakes. You can put gouache on here, so I could do something that's lighter. I'll do that for a last thing. So here's my orange. And here's some gouache. And there's my light orange. So I can do this. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I could do this. See if that works.
Nice.
That was too wet. It's too wet down there right now. My bad.
Get it like a purple color.
There. That was too wet to stamp on top of. But I'm going to leave it alone. Till it dries, I can always do something with later. I actually like that stamp.
Did you paint the stampers? Or did, yeah, you painted it.
Did I paint the stamp?
Yeah, or did you stamp it in your paint?
No, I painted the stamp. Going to use a little black pencil. Broke that up. I could use a little white pencil on my birch tree here.
Oh, wrong paper.
So that's my that's the rock where I proposed to my whatever. My famous rock. And I can go back and I can touch with it, but I'll just look at it. For now,
Oops, that didn't work.
I'm going to take a little bit of, I'll lift a little bit right through here. I just wanted another little light free in there. A little bit of that rock for that path coming down. This mat is a little bit small, but probably somewhere in here. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it's my rock. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we've done water masking, we've done the rock. In 10 minutes, we're going to start the tree and finish that. I don't know if we'll get to the fly fisherman, but that's the least of it. You all know how to paint wet and wet, and you all know what we did with the rocks on this one. That's done exactly the same way for the fly fisherman. Those rocks in front. A lot of most of these techniques, I have to say room for the flashlight too. It's pretty believable and pretty fresh, I think. Please remind me when it's a quarter till. I lose track of time when I paint. Thank God. Because I want to make sure, I want to show you the flashlight. And I'm sure everyone has paintings that they could use the flashlight for. I'm not the only one. Cool. Get something out of this, good.
Yeah, learn some technique, thank you.
Well, yeah, it's not all technique. It's gonna be, if it's all technique, gotta have some yin and yang. That's the reason those trees are pretty plain. They just kind of support. And you'll notice that this is positive and this is negative. The stamp and the monoprint work pretty well together, I think. Okay, 5 minutes and we're gonna do the tree. While I'm doing the 5 minutes, I'll just go ahead and finish this up. This would work very well for abstract art. That's just a plain damp brush.
Joe, we didn't take off the masking tape from the tree yet, did we?
No,
Okay.
gonna do that couple minutes. I'm done. I'm done with the leaves. So. From my garden. And I think those leaves need just a little something. So,
On the leaves. Okay. What are you doing to the leaves? Lines, veins? Want us to do this with you?
no, you don't have to do the leaves. I'm just putting in a little textured background. Just so it's not plain. So, okay, the tree. Hey, the salt kind of worked. Now I can actually start rubbing off some of this mask.
Take off all the mask?
Yeah. Now you've got your underpainting done. Got all that juicy stuff to work with.
My drone. Baby.
That's what mine was.
Okay, you remember what I said at the beginning of this workshop? I don't care if you finish one painting. I just want you to know the process. So up until now, do we have any questions? About the leaves or about the rock? Good,
Oh,
good.
wait a second, we put,
It's called, rubbing this mask off, it's called art aerobics.
Very physical, painting to their hand.
Art aerobics, yes. So this really is white, isn't it? So I already see where I'm not going to. I already see where I'm gonna have to, kill some stuff. But fortunately, I have transparent watercolor. So right away, design wise, I can see that I'm going to kill a lot of this. Get rid of the white. Well, that looks better. And down here, I'm just gonna let some of that color bleed right in. I just want to knock it back. I like the highlights. Can get out your plastic. I'll mix up a nice big puddle of this yellow green. And crinkle this up. And start stamping with it. First of all, I am going to put a little sky in there. I'm just going to use a little cerulean. Hopefully it's a clean enough brush. I'm going to leave a little light over here. Enough. Now I'm going to take my plastic, crinkle it up. See, I've already got green paint on there. Crinkle it up.
you put green paint on your plastic, lime green.
I'm going to stamp it in my tray. She used this pretty effectively. Much better than a sponge. There we go. Now I'm going to mix up some darker of that color. Find a new place. Crinkle it up. That's beautiful, I think. Now I'm kind of stamping it on wet paper.
Oh, I see.
Stamp paper at least. pretty cool. I like it.
Okay. Put it and you stamped it. So I'm sorry, I missed what you were doing. So did you mix up the paint and then stamp plastic in there, or you painted the plastic again?
I didn't paint, I watered up crinkled up the plastic and I put it in the,
In the paint?
mixed the paint and I put it in the paint.
Thank you.
Going to be fairly believable. You can do this as many times as you want to get the effect that you want. That's looks pretty like a lot of different leaves, and I didn't paint any of them. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ooh, look at that. Well, that's still wet. I can take a crumpled up paper towel and blot some of that up. Beautiful. Boy, that's a lot of leaves in no time. And you're going to see what a difference that makes when you actually start putting in stuff like the tree.
Joe, would this work if you would cut cardboard and do one of those cardboard scratching things?
Would it work if I what?
You know, cut the cardboard like you did for the shrubbery in the rock painting.
Oh, oh, sure.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, this is just the texture that you can use for almost anything.
Yeah, this is good. White spot that's been, that looks weird.
Oh, I've lost my tree. Well,
Yeah, what'd you do with those white spots?
What white spots?
Well, it said leave a window and I see I left it.
I just painted over it. I just painted water over it and let some of that color drift into it.
Oh, at the time when it was back, yeah. Next time.
taking my brightest yellow and just going around the edge of this where the light hits it the most. I'm taking my yellow as butter. I'm going over it, break that tree up, put something in front of that. I have to wait for that to dry. I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to dip it in my contaminated water. I'm going to wipe just like that. And there's my light coming through.
Are you leaving any of the, I forget what it's called, but,
Mask?
yeah, the mask.
No, it's all off.
Okay.
Quarter out.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna put this in here quickly.
Right here.
Now I can also take this mask.
Puts it off.
I'm gonna add some yellow. And some of this mask, or this white paint, excuse me.
It's kind of hard to.
So now I'm making it, now I'm making it gouache. So I've
Try to
got,
be more gentle. Then
I've got a puddle, huh?
she's just,
I've got a puddle of gouache. When I go back to my plastic. Find a new place. And put some of this in because that will overlap what's happening in the background. She used this also. It's pretty good right there.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah, it's all magic, isn't it? It's almost Bob Rossi. Oh my God. Anyway, a couple of little things. Well, I've got that white paint. I'm going to use some of this and make it lighter. And there's my, whoops, I need it more, need it wider. I'm just trying to knock this out so you'll see what you can do with it. Oh, oh, you can tell. My God, I am losing it.
Okay, a lot of paint.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so this is still pretty wet, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And it needs to be a little bigger mat, but I think you get the idea. Most of this was created without a brush. Okay, that's enough. That's enough of that. That, well, just a tad darker. Okay, I'll show you what I wanted to show you for the rest of this, and look at that later. Make some final little thingies, nigglies. Okay. This is a painting, as I said before, that I just thought it was fail. It's a failure. I tried to save it, but to me, it's a failure. So I'm going to turn out these lights and get out my flashlight. So how could I fix this? Is this the way I remember this? In fact, I could do it with the one we just painted. Yes, I could. I don't know how well this will work for the video, but turn out that one. That's still pretty bright, but here's my flashlight. So when I got there, the sun was coming up from over here, and the front of this house was lit, but it was kind of foggy. So there wasn't a real definition in the shadow and the light. It was kind of the same value. So I mistakenly tried to paint that, but then I started playing with this. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's the area that I really wanted to concentrate on. And that makes all the difference in the painting. Just that. And I'm sure that you have paintings that could happen to. I know I have several that I could need to be worked on. Here's the one we just got done doing. If I didn't like that, or I thought it wasn't good enough, boy, there's such a difference. You'll see when I send you the photos, there's such a difference between the monitor and the screen that you're looking at. But I'm just going to say, okay, that's the light. And I'm actually holding it way over here and low. Can you see the difference? Yes, no, I can't tell. No, I'm off to the side. I can't see what the monitors are.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, I thought that was pretty good until maybe I did that. And then, make your watercolors powerful. Don't be afraid to get dark with it. Here's another one that's pretty obvious, but let me see if I can find one that, really sucks. It shouldn't be too hard. It's in a drawer someplace. Those are good.
Oh, thank you.
Let me see what I got stashed back here. Under all this collage mess. Oh, here's one where I completely lost my way. Now that I look at it, let me move this stuff. So here's one of a kayaker, and I can tell right now. I can tell right now that I haven't seen this for quite a while. What I need to do, I need to put more focus right here. I need to put more focus on that kayaker. I don't know if you can see that right there.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? So what does that mean? To me, it's kind of a dark light painting. And for me, and I'm gonna do it right now. Just to show you. So what did I learn from doing that? I haven't looked at this for a few years probably. And I think I did it for somebody who was into kayaking. And I'll show you something that you can do that's very simple, and don't be afraid to do it, because this was going nowhere anyway, as far as I was concerned. And I could be wrong about this, but it's just a piece of paper. So there. The mat's off. Here's my painting. Whoops, here's my painting. I was gonna say this one. Where's the light there? But that's actually a pretty strong light, but I could make that stronger. I could make that stronger. By how? Now that I've already painted it, I've got to make all this stuff around here darker. And I can still do that. I can apply fixative to this, workable fix, and I can paint watercolor on top of it. So I could put a darker wash over that whole thing. This one, I don't have to. Don't be afraid to do this.
Spray fixative?
The workable fix. I've done this. There's workable fix. You can spray a light coat on top of this watercolor. It will protect it from being dissolved.
Sure.
And I can still paint watercolor on top of it. So if I just I painted a bullseye right on top of this, and I have done this with actual painting. Painted a bullseye after the fact. After. And saved the painting, or at least made it better. So now what I think that I have to do with this one is I don't even I will have to get some clean water really quick, and then we're done. I'm going to take a big brush. I'm just going to what happened to my there it is. I'm just going to tilt my board because I want it to blend. I'm just going to take a big brush. You won't be able to see this because I'm not going to change the camera angle, but I'm going to mix up some blue. I'm going to mix up some phthalo, and I'm going to counter that with some purple. So I'm gonna mix up a big puddle of something that's fairly dark. And so this is kind of what I saw. I want that purple in there because I want it to pick up from the that purple at the top. So I'm gonna take my big brush and make that color a little bit more. This is gonna dry lighter and I don't want it to. I want it to be a little on the darker side. Okay, so now I've got this puddle. What am I gonna do with this? First thing I'm gonna do is this. That already helps me focus on that guy right there. So I could have a little bit of white water over here, but I'm gonna, this whole angle, this whole triangle right here, I'm just gonna darken that and see what happens. I think that's a hell of a difference. Personally, just by doing that, And while it's still wet, I can take a little more of that. I can take a little more of that. And I can say, oh, okay, I can have some fun with this now. There's a rock. Here's some more water coming down, maybe. I want to keep this. I want to put a little something happening there. Maybe. See, look at the difference that made. Now, why did it take me all these years to figure that out? I don't know. It's because I didn't care anymore about it. I was done experimenting. I'm actually going to do this. Now that really makes you focus on this down here. Whoops, I keep forgetting. I either have a ball of tape or plastic in my hand, and I think I have a paper towel. That's nuts. Oh, I just did that. Anyway, doesn't that isn't that interesting how that pinches down?
That's because you saved so much light.
Yeah, I had too much white left. Wanted to leave that a little lighter, but oh well. Hey, it's just a piece of paper. Anyway, I think that improved that painting 100%.
Yeah.
In no time. So that's back to design. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes. Yeah.
Now I can see this painting, and it needs some darks in here, but I need a couple of rocks to pick those guys back up. But just painting that one shape, and it wasn't about technique, it wasn't about anything. It was that shape that made the difference for this painting. I don't care about all this little stuff happening. If the shape's not right, it doesn't make any difference. You spend all your time kind of, I won't do it. It's a guy thing. Starts with an M for yeah, that's what I spent all my time doing, and it just didn't happen. I need a little dark over here now that I'm doing this. Okay, I'm gonna see that that's dark. I'm just gonna put in a dark just to remind me. Okay, and that's gonna dry lighter, but I need to pick a little bit of that back up. So I gotta let that dry first.
Can I say something that
Yeah, absolutely.
kind of bugs me? Well, because you got this beautiful light on the water.
Yeah.
And those two rocks that are directly behind it that are so beautiful in violet. To me, it seems like there needs to be some dappled light on those rocks.
Here?
Yeah, because they're in the same line of light
Oh,
as the
okay.
water.
So we'll
So
put
it
some
bugs me
dappled.
that they're in shadow when the water is so gorgeous and it's got that sparkly light on it. It to me
Yeah, we'll put some, we'll put some, we'll put some dapple light on those rocks. How about that?
Cause they're so,
Anyway,
I'll do it.
okay. Does anyone have any questions about what we did today? We did a lot. We didn't get to the fly fisherman, but that was the least of the, there's water below. So that made a hell of a difference, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So that came from the flashlight. So I'm glad I found that example. I hadn't planned on that at all. I just found it. I found it in my my Pandora's box. Anyway, does anybody have any questions? Did anybody learn anything? Did anybody find new stuff to try without the traditional stuff? I think the big things for me, besides the path of light, was the water masking, whatever subject you need, that you need a plain background and you need some texture someplace without having to mask the whole thing. And the rub off mask, I think, works great for texture.
Yeah.
Anything that's bubbly or organic looking stuff, you can use it for. The stamp is another way to use the stamp. So the combination between that monoprint with the plastic, I think you can do it with a mat board. You can blob some color on, and you can put some texture in rocks too. We did not do that, but I could take that square of mat board, blob some color on fairly thick, and then I could smooge that. Smooge, I called it smooge, stamp it for a texture that you want. Maybe it's the side of an old boat. I don't know. Maybe it's an animal. I don't know. Maybe it's a worn leathered book. I don't know. Could be any, there's tons of ideas.
Joe, I really liked the water masking because I'm going to do a series on coral reefs, and there's a lot of texture on the coral,
perfect.
but the water needs to be smoothed out. And
yeah,
I don't know if you can see it here, but
I'll pin you.
What I did on the leaves.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's what you can do.
So anyway, that's something I'm going to put to use right away.
Good. Yay.
And I'm glad somebody's coming to clean my house on Monday because of all this stuff on the floor.
I know. It was pretty messy.
Lots of good.
Okay, guys, I will send you the, there's really no videos to send you or links that we talked about. I told you what I used as far as PBS. Oh, you got something to hold up?
Oh, I was just gonna say, this was my favorite, the rock with the backgrounds.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
That came out really
you
well.
got used to the masking. So you found another use for masking.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can be pretty damn loose with mask. Everybody thinks that when I get out the mask, you have to get out your old brush, your old small brush, and take hours painting something, masking something. You don't have to.
Like that. Yeah.
And if you don't like what you did, if you're too loose, just rub it off. And you can mask at any time in your painting. You can mask at any time. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, me too.
The only problem I had, Joe, with the leaf one was the water in the background. I rubbed too hard in a couple of places, and I got the texture of the watercolor paper.
While they're talking, thanks.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to perfect that mode. I took off too much water.
Oh, okay. Well, so you learned something. Yay.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Create and fail, create and fail, create and
Exactly.
fail. If you keep doing that, then you're gonna win.
Yep.
So
Thank you.
Joe,
you're welcome.
Joe,
I'll see you guys. See you
one
down
second.
the road.
Thanks, Joe.
Oh, you're welcome. Say hi to Mac.
I will, Joe, I didn't fully understand the torch.
The what?
Oh, sorry, the flashlight.
Oh, the
Because when I
flashlight?
hold-
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're British.
when I hold it on anything, it's really,
I use a torch when I can't stand a painting anymore. So I have a big bonfire Halloween. Anyway, the torch is just finding your light path again.
okay.
What did I start out to paint, and why don't I see where the light is coming from anymore? I see it in my reference. I saw it on the trail. How did I lose that? Well, it's a value thing. It's a light, mid-tone, and dark value thing. And so you're adding back light, which you usually can't do with traditional methods, but you can do it with a flashlight. I can
Okay.
make part of it lighter again
Okay.
without any penalty.
Okay, I'll have to try it again. Okay.
Yeah, you have to do it don't do it in a lit room where you're getting too much light, but you'll see, where do I want you to look? Just put the flashlight on, where do I want the viewer to look first? And does that come off?
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then you found out something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, see you guys.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.